Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. Well, I hope I don't got this thing set on private. I don't know. Uh, I hope you all are having a great evening. And as we get people in the chats, I'll discuss what my title there, my thumbnail picture. I didn't use the person who actually filed the articles of derangement, uh, but I used a picture of a congresswoman who represents the Democrat Party. If I'd have used a guy who actually filed, you'd have thought I put up the picture of a telemarketer. And that's the going meme, the going joke for whatever his name is. I'll look it up here in a second. Somebody I never knew existed. And here we go again. We've got these people that run our lives. 435 people in the House of Representatives that run this country. And how many of them are like this character? Weren't even born in the country. Spent almost 30 years, I think, battling in some third world land. Comes here and ends up as a member of Congress. I think, I'm not sure how long he's been a member. Oh, boy, and then we got judges with names you could, like, Judge who, Judge what, where? Putting out these edicts. So here we go again. We got to start paying attention to our local elections. We got to scrutinize these people. I call it discernment, but they'll call it profiling. Well, when it comes down to a lousy 400 and some people running my damn life out of 320 million, 350 if you add illegals, I'm gonna profile. I'm gonna be discerning. This guy that filed these articles of impeachment, I got the transcript of his stupid announcement he put up, full of hoaxes. Full steam hoaxes. They don't back off. Even if you tell them to their face they're wrong. They keep repeating the same garbage. That can't be mistaken. That can't be unintentional. That is, to me, inciting vitriol and dividing the body politic on purpose. What's the oldest battle tactic in the book? Divide and conquer. Divide and conquer. So, we got to take a look at these people. He's been in the country. I don't know how long he's been a citizen, though. I don't know. I don't know. He's been in the country for, let's see, I think 88, 89, 90, 20, 37 years. That doesn't mean he was a citizen the whole time. But anyway, I'll go down the line with that here in a minute. But let me say, how you doing, Wayne? I know I got some thumbs up now. Tennessee's here. Sissy's here. Todd's here. Colette. Robin. I wonder if I could put the chats on the screen. How does that work? Sherry's here. Miss Mendersue, I sang you happy birthday in Spanish yesterday. Y'all are my witness. If you didn't see it, it's on last night's broadcast. Didn't I sing happy birthday to you, Miss Mendersue? In no speaky. Rubber Toe, how you doing? Debbie's here. Let's see, Kim's here. I don't want to miss anybody. I want a laid back broadcast, even because I get myself worked up like I did last night. I get mad. I get so mad, and I see these people going, "Hi, KNS Cleanup. How you doing? Todd's here. KNS Cleanup. Everybody's showing up." I see these streamers now. One guy I want to watch. He put up a video today about the judge that got arrested. And he appears to be an attorney. I think I got a copy of the thumbnail. I'll look it up here without kicking myself out of the studio. And he used the word in his thumbnail picture, treason. And you know me, I don't even like saying that word because I would get strikes, right? For bullying or conspiracy or some crap like that. So I'm paranoid because my little peanut channel gets slapped around all the time. Now, maybe they won't do it to him. He's a lawyer. So, yeah, that was the word that we've all been wanting to use. Hi, Rebecca. Angel's here. Angel went to buy me a coffee. And so did Wayne. Wayne went to buy me a coffee. I thought, well, Gary made sure I wasn't going to get skunked this week. So I just went on my rants. And as long as I don't get skunked. But then Wayne came through and Angela on Buy Me a Coffee. I've got a link in the description if anybody wants to help support the channel and put in a kind word for an old man. But anyway, thank you very much. And thank you for the thumbs ups. So, let me see here. Yeah, there you go, Tennessee, tree and sun. But he put the whole word in there in green letters highlighted because that's what it is. And I tell you, my mind is racing through the day. I put my earbuds in, I get on my tractor and I fire it up and listen to different podcasts. I can't watch shows, because the sun, you can't see the screen and you can't operate things and plus sit and stare at a screen. So I listen to Law of Self-Defense, even though I got a little irritated because he had a guest on I didn't care for. But hey, I just don't watch the guests I don't care for, but I will watch most of the stuff. We all say things or do things that not everybody cares for. You can't please everybody, right? Kathy's here. Doc's here. So Tom Homan had an excellent press conference today with Caroline Levitt. And he did such a good job. I believe they have been meeting and discussing their approaches with the media because they do look directly at these reporters and when they're talking to these reporters. But what they understand now and that they're not arguing with reporters. They are explaining to the American people. So even if you are looking at a hoaxer, a moron, or both, or somebody's trying to get your goat, they don't fall for it. They don't fall for it, and they lay out the facts, and it drives them crazy. So we've had a couple of things go out through last week that were noticeable. One is that there's been several stories and several guests, and it was brought up today by Caroline Levitt about the media's complicit actions in covering up the decrepit mental state of Otto Penn Joe. And that is becoming accepted narrative. And it's not taking a lot of effort. It doesn't have to. Just as a statement of fact, Caroline Levitt said today, many of you participated. That's why there's been so many changes in this press pool room. because people were being less than honest with the American people. And when you get right down to it, what's the purpose of a news agency? Why do they get licensing? Why do they get preferential treatment? Why do they get to interview with the president? Why do they? Because they're supposed to perform a public service of informing the public, not misinforming the public, not shaping narratives, telling the American story accurately. And if they don't do that, they don't deserve the respect. They don't deserve the preferred seating. They don't deserve the interviews. And the AP sued Trump because he wouldn't let him in because they were still continuing to call the Gulf of America its former name. So I'm making a habit of not letting words pass my lips that I don't want to use anymore. So I'm just going to say its former name and not say its former name because it doesn't exist anymore. The Gulf of America. And you know, I don't send an email to Rumble, and I'm not multi-streaming tonight on Rumble. I'll have to upload this later. So thanks to the disruption in agreements between Utizzle and Rumble, I'll have to spend another hour of my precious time making sure my good friends on Rumble get to see the stream, albeit late. But, you know, I want to send an email to Rumble because they have an address now. They moved to Florida, their headquarters. And the road that their headquarters address is on needs to be changed because it says a name that no longer exists for a place that is called the Gulf of America. So they need to get Ron DeSantis or somebody down there to yank those road signs down, call the U.S. Post Office, say, look, this road is the Gulf of America. What the hell's going on? Don't you know this is a presidential proclamation? You better respect it. And we'll see what they do. So because they have their physical address in Florida, that's a good thing. But still, I understand all the servers are in Canada. So anyway, let me see who else got. Pappy Two Bears, how you doing? Ronald's here. Okie dokie, Doc. Let's see what. Oh, happy birthday. Oh, yeah. Melvita is from Alamo, where Mr. T said they were coming for the gravy. Right? Remember that? Remember that, Melvita? And I don't have to worry about the 25th Amendment. Joe Biden does. So they're coming for the gravy. Yeah, I saw what the guy calls himself Charlemagne. I won't say the rest of it. Words that I think are idiotic or whatever. I just don't let them pass my lips anymore. Illegal aliens is what we're dealing with. Nothing else. The people who are being deported, have orders for deportation, are illegal aliens. Not Maryland men. Yeah, oh, that video I saw, I heard, where a federal agent said to somebody at a courthouse, you do that again, and I'm going to charge you for assaulting a federal officer. That episode did happen. And I said I wasn't sure who it was. If it was the Krispy Kreme addicted judge in Wisconsin, or staff members, or bystanders, or who it was. but I knew I heard somebody with border enforcement telling somebody twice he was a federal agent and they would be charged. One time with obstruction, they said, or impediment, one of the two, some or something like it. And the other one was, you're going to get charged for assaulting an officer. You touch me. Well, it happened in Virginia. In Virginia, I knew I wasn't going to be able to do a full-blown picture show today, so I didn't get a clip of it. But yeah, the gloves are off with these dopey local poobahs that think they have their power. That's right, they had a monopoly. I wonder if I could put my chats on the screen. Or I think I can only put one comment at a time on screen. Let me see. Let me fool around with this. Oh, well, I better not fool around too much or I'll get kicked out of here. I don't know. Let me see. Huh. I don't know. I might have to do that in some other private stream so I don't kick myself out of the studio. Right? I thought you could put the chats on the screen. I don't know. It's all right. As long as you all can read them while I'm talking and I can read them. Hi, Benjamin. How you doing? Yeah, who's that guy? Governor of California was mad. He is what now? It's I put new insurrect. Did I say insurrectionists? Yeah. Steve Miller used that term, secessionists. I put secessionists. I was surprised to hear that word. Somebody asked about Governor Pritzker, another Krispy Kreme addicted load of blubber that gave a speech and was saying that Republicans should have no peace. And Stephen Miller said, well, it sounds to me like he's inciting. His comments could be taken as insightful. And these other characters are behaving in a way that the secessionists of old used to, right? Hi, Araceli, how are you? Fred Flintstone Pritzker, that's right. Wilma, hi, William, how you doing? Flannel cheese. And Debbie Lands is here. All right. So anyway, Pritzker is getting being a bonehead, and who's gonna? Somebody's gonna get it. I figured it would start with these low-level judges. I won't keep bragging about that because I got a lot to brag about, like the word pause. When we start seeing that, we know something's up. Something's up with this pause that the Supreme Court has not addressed. The historic after midnight ruling. Historically significant because it is an unprecedented barb aimed at the presidency. Not Donald Trump, the presidency. So they put a pause on the deportations from a certain area, the Blue Bonnet facility, I believe it is. And we haven't heard a resolution to that. So we're going to see. I think we're I think there is a monumental battle going on between these wacko liberal Supreme Court justices and common sense constitutionalists who know what the laws. The law is the supreme law of the land, Constitution, not the fairy tale liberals that want to dream up stuff and pettifog. I'll have to get into that word one day with y'all. Pettifog. They don't allow it to be used. I can use it because I'm not an attorney, and I don't answer to the no dopey bar or whatever. So yeah, they're a bunch of pettifoggers, and they need to bring that back. But I think Elena Kagan is working on, from a historical perspective, working on a reasonable reputation when the dust clears. Part of her discussions during the book issues and her comments were much more reasoned and moral and more in line with the pulse of the nation than what we've seen from Sonia Sotomayor and Ketanji Brown Jackson. I believe those are the two. Let's see. I'm going to make a prediction. I should flag my videos when I make these predictions. I'm going to make a prediction that Sotomayor and Ketanji Brown Jackson don't make it through this administration. Might be after the midterms, and I think these upcoming rulings are going to cement their derangement, not just Trump derangement syndrome. It's like that word was used by Pam Bondi when she was talking about the lower court judges that got arrested and suspending their court. She said, I think they're deranged. So I think Kagan is trying to be reasonable and say, she never practiced law. She never prosecuted a case, or she was a legal aid. And she got in there. And that, well, I'll bring it up since I'm talking about it. People were asking, or saying that they heard Letitia James was going to get arrested today. And I just, the way I addressed it was I just asked the chat, do you think she's going to get arrested? I didn't say it because I thought, nah, ain't going to happen. It's going to take over the news cycle. Right when we're hammering home this secessionist talk, right when we've got these judges dead to rights and looking like fools and throwing their careers in the garbage pail, we're going to work on them right now. Letitia James, she can just sit there on that back burner, sweat it out. And that's what she's doing. But they did add another formal complaint to the New York bar concerning her actions and her ethics. Another missive that she's going to have to deal with. And these are issues, another term I brought up many times in the past. I said, watch out for it. A term, 2 words, has to do with lawyers. I brought it up a long time ago. Who remembers? It is a term that if you're guilty, you cannot have a law license. Who remembers the term? I'll give you all a little time, and now, Pappy Cure said, pow, pow, pow. Our ocean is cold, and our rivers too. Who's that? Who's that? Yeah. I was wondering what's going on. Sometimes the chats go on there, go on some little inside chit chat. All right, Angela, your large extended family, all vote conservative. Wonderful. You got it better than a lot. They got to deal with all the foaming at the mouth. You know, they get nasty. I was talking about somebody that I responded to on Truth Social. Their name was Dumpster Fire. While I was doing my broadcast, they made a response. I got it. I'll read it to you. I'm going to read Tom Homan's formal legal notice. And you know what? That ties into what I was saying about the news agencies. Their purpose is to inform the public. When things are going on, when there's a divorce, when there's a foreclosure, when there's some type of legal action, a lot of times, well, about every time, you have to put notice in a paper of record. That's what they call it, a newspaper of record. Did you ever see that? Did you ever go to the legal notices section in the classifieds? That's legally required notice. Just as I said, when Andrew Branco was doing his program, I said the presidential proclamation, public proclamation, is the legal notice. And he agreed with me. He said, I agree with you all the way. I had to put in some words about Dimblewitz. Television show says disbarred. No, it is an offense concerning a certain term that precludes you. Television shows habeas corpus, that's show me the body. I want to see my client's bodacious body in court. Deliver it to me. So Letitia James, if she's found guilty of a crime of, it's another hint, a crime of, my thoughts were concerning this notice business. Why would the border czar take time out of his busy day to stand for damn near an hour fielding questions from some of our very nice reporters, but a lot of them are misfits, malcontents, and miscreants? Why would he take that much time out of his day, write something down on paper, read it to them verbatim? Before he even reads the notice, he says, I want to make sure I get it right so you all don't misrepresent what I say. I'm going to read it. Just for them to not even report it. That's where the disservice comes in. Not a news service, a news disservice. I'll read you the notice, or I'll try to read it off the transcript from the video. And I haven't heard anybody. To me, it's big news because he just gave millions of people legal notice today. But can you say it's legal notice if the news service is mum about it? Is that a form of censorship? If a tree falls in the woods, nobody heard it. If Tom Homan bellows out a notice and nobody reports it, is it a notice? I say yes. So let me see. I got some guesses here. Television shows said RICO Act. Debbie King said money. Television show property fraud, money laundering. No, it is a description of a type of criminal offense. Crimes against humanity. Yeah, that'll get you short rope and a long drop. Oh, DC Drano was in there. Oh, that's good. Hi, Mac. How you doing? Araceli said a felony. Yeah, that's one of them. But for attorneys, it is a specific term. And I talked about how a podcaster who's kind of up and coming and stuff like that was saying it was a good thing. You don't want to question so-and-so's. That's another hint that I talked about. I didn't say who the podcaster was. Nice guy. But when you think you know everything, you say stupid stuff. You don't want to question his felonious malingering. He's got the best felonious malingering you can find. They don't understand the term and they think it's a good thing. Oh, they violate ethics every day. They misrepresent every day. So, whoa. I got to watch what I touch on the screen. I'll give you the first part of the word and maybe it'll ring a bell. It is a term that was a big deal when Fannie Willis, fresh back from her Virgin Islands Grey Goose guzzling taxpayer expense vacation, or somebody's expense. It was our expense. Sidney Powell, was it Jenna Ellis? All the other, I think it was one other guy. They all made sure it was not a certain type of conviction of, let's see if somebody gets it now, because I talked extensively about those plea deals with Sidney Powell and Jenna Ellis in the Fannie Willis courtroom. I will give you the first word of it. It's called, the first word is moral. Moral. A crime of moral, no goggling either. No goggling. If you goggled it, don't put it in the chats. That's cheating. A crime of moral, Todd got it. Moral turpitude. Moral turpitude. The one that they put in today, where she's criminally profiting from government loans, government largesse, misrepresentation of the facts. She'll be guilty of moral turpitude. And her law license is automatically forfeit. Now, I spent so much time on this because I got a question. She is an elected official. She was elected to be the DA. Does she have to have a law license? I was talking about Elena Kagan, never been a judge before, was a clerk in a court, or a not clerk in a court. She was a assistant or something like that to another judge or judges, and she got to be a Supreme Court justice. If the Senate would approve me, I could be a Supreme Court justice. Did you know that? So if she loses her law license, it'd be something to check into. Can you be a DA? What does the New York State Constitution say about that? Remember, Fannie Willis got herself out of a little pickle because she was a constitutional officer, elected constitutional officer. And that's what Letitia James is also. But I've always said, swords cut two ways. And whenever they bring that up, and I haven't brought it up in a while, but I see these liberals are putting up, will Trump arrest Supreme Court justices next? J.D. Prisker's putting himself at risk. Dopey David Pakman put up a video saying, I was told not to leave the country. Midas Trash Network says we're under attack by the Trump administration. Our channel is at risk. Well, is Trump going to violate the Constitution with the governor? Even before the arrest of the judges, they were saying we would be the end of the earth if he did anything to a judge. Two of them get locked up. And they shut up about that. They start saying, whoa, Supreme Court justices, if he does that, that's the end of the world. What I haven't brought up in a while, I'm going to wait and see if anybody else brings it up. Again, you all are my witness. I brought up in the past. Oh, let's do another memory test. How many of you all remember a case where a constitutional officer was arrested? An elected constitutional officer was arrested. This isn't the one, but it is one. Is Rob Blagojevich. But Rob Blagojevich got blown out by his own state representatives. They were filing articles of impeachment. But who got jammed up without their state representatives impeaching them? No federal impeachment, and got mugshot, thrown in jail, and taken out of the spotlight. Even ran for ran for president one time. Nobody's been bringing it up, but my mountain man memory, I got it in my mind. It was outrageous when it happened. And I don't know what the final disposition of that matter was. And I'm surprised. I never heard people like Alan Dershowitz. Hey, I have respect for all of them. But come on, guys. It's a big part of history. Todd got it. Todd got it. Rick Perry. No, it was state charges. Diane T didn't give him a full. He gave Blagojevich, right, but not Governor Perry, governor of Texas. How soon we forget. No act of Congress, no impeachment articles, just some dopey prosecutors. You can Google it now if you want to. You'll see his mugshot. And he ran primaries against George Bush. So anyway, when are people going to bring that memory back up? Or is there a reason for them to keep it quiet? I think somebody broke the law when they did that. And it wasn't Perry. But anyway, this guy, speaking of impeachments, I put in my thumbnail articles of derangement instead of impeachment. And there's this guy, Sri Thanadar, an American business, author, politician, serving as a U.S. representative from Michigan's 13th Congressional District since 2023. Oh, he's been a congressman in that district since 23. So less than 2 years or 2 years, 24 months. I don't know. I could get it down to the month. Not long. Have you all seen, please say yes if you've seen this guy's face. This Sri, whatever his last name is, Wadahadahar. How many of you all seen yet or seen his little speech he gave? You know what? They have the debate clause where they can say things on the floor of the House and they don't get in trouble. Hi, Sparky. They don't get in trouble. Well, this guy had a picture of the Capitol behind him and some other building, and he's talking about Donald Trump needs to be impeached. And said some pretty outrageous things. But he wasn't on the floor of the House. He wasn't in the Capitol while the House was in session. So he's not covered by the debate clause. Remember, Trump said Adam Schiff got away with the horrible things he said about Trump because he said it during a congressional hearing on the floor or while the House was in session. Protected by the debate clause, he can say anything he wants. But this guy was calling Trump a criminal, calling Elon Musk illegitimate. I'll read his stupid statement. Is he vulnerable to a lawsuit? And through all this, always remember, FISA works both ways. What do I mean by that? Boasberg was on the FISA court. He authorized spying. Okay? He authorized the monitoring of cell phone conversations, who knows what, with FISA warrants. And we were told so many times FISA works both ways. Who put this guy up to this? Right after they come out with these poll numbers, last time I played Harry Enton, you all saw me. Well, it was I played him a couple of times. He said, Trump is taking off like a soaring eagle, right? His approval ratings have rocketed up. He's a soaring eagle. I didn't say anything about it yesterday because I thought it was BS. I didn't even get a clip of him. Oh, these are dismal numbers. Oh, his approval ratings have just gone down. So I didn't even talk about it. What comes out today? Trump talking about fake polls. What did Trump say during the election? They're called push polls, and they're illegal. So the day after this phony push poll comes out, where they're trying to be a ghost in the machine and exert illegal psychological warfare campaigns against the people by attempting to alter reality with their hoaxes, the day after, this character comes up with his articles of impeachment, repeating hoaxes that are known to be false. I wonder if there's a FISA judge authorized the gathering of evidence for these secessionists, subversives. Is there any foreign influence? Who put them up to this stuff? We got a right to know. Well, before he became a U.S. representative, he was in the state house, I guess, from 2021 to 2023. He ran for governor of Michigan in 2018. I bet that was a hoot. But you know what he used to be? 10 years ago would have been shocking. He was a member of Socialist Party. Remember, a communist is just a socialist in a hurry. There's no difference. But like I said, it's not a shock anymore. Even the head of the CIA, former head of the CIA, used to be a card-carrying member of the Communist Party. How the hell does this happen? Hi, Yvonne. How you doing? Huh. Somebody else got in here I got to say hi to. Where in the world? Andrew's here. How you doing, Andrew? Darla's here. I guess I got everybody. Bill's here. Whoa, Roland's here. How's things in Canada, Roland? How's the election? They said the election, the government election site shut down. Official election site in Canada shut down. Imagine that. Pappy Two Bears got coffee on the screen. Let's have another cup of coffee and let's have another piece of pie. My dad used to sing that song. Did you all ever hear that song? You can play it on YouTube. Angel said liberals won. Roland said the libs are winning and it's a fraud. MS is here, motorsports. So, and where was I at with this business? Anyway, I can't help but think that characters like this are not being. I can't believe they're not being surveilled. They're not being surveilled because you can't issue these articles of derangement, make a public splash about it. Fantastic allegations, false allegations, tied right into a Marxist media campaign that is actually a illegal psychological warfare campaign. You can't do that without garnering suspicion. What else is going on with this idiot? He's a member of the Michigan House of Representatives. He is preceded by Wendell Berg when he was a member of the State House. He was succeeded by, on state level, Alabas Farhat. Oh, that sounds like somebody from Michigan. Alabas Farhat. We've got a what would you call it? Naturalized insurrectionist, secessionist invasion. I don't know what you call it. I can't get the understanding where you would have people with no connection to your culture, your worldview, your nation view. People would be fine with, oh, let's pass laws that raise the property taxes. Let's make sure people pay their fair share. Let's make sure unlawful migrants or undocumented migrants have their representation. That's where this kind of gibberish comes from. We need to end the gibberish. And you have to be discerning, and you have to profile, and you have to get these people the hell out of power. The Farhats. Yeah, Colette, Brennan. Brennan was a commie rat. Well, Roland, I don't think Canada's done. Mr. T said, he said, we'll cut your taxes in half. We'll protect you. Be a wonderful thing for Canada. And don't think that if there is a foreign power interfering with a bordering country's election, don't think that we ain't got a dog in that fight. Ha ha, that's right, Sparky. Why worry if the skies are gray? Let's have another cup of coffee and let's have another piece of pie. Ha ha ha. That's right, Miss Minsu. MB. MB. So anyway, let's go on with this investigation of this creep. No goggling now. I didn't see anybody say whether they seen this guy, whether they saw him on the television shows. I wanted to ask y'all how old you thought he was. I'm going to give 1 minute for people to put their guess, and no goggling, of his age, starting right now at 56:12. All bets are off. How old do you think this guy is? What's his name again? Let me see. Sri Thandahar. Sri Thandahar. Aristotle said 46. No goggling, Miss Sue. The guy who filed the articles of impeachment that looks like a telemarketer from India. Sri Thandahar. I've been talking about him for half an hour. That's why I ask people if you've seen him on the television. If you haven't seen him, don't guess his age. If you've seen him, guess his age. Jerry said 50. Jerry must have seen him. Tennessee said 37. Aristotle said 46, 37, 50. Oh, I already passed by a minute. Jerry said 25. Sissy said 25. Well, hold on to your hats, gang. He's 70 years old, according to Wikipedia. Just in case. How you doing? I'm talking about this guy that put up the articles of derangement against Trump. His name is Sri Thandahar. He was born February 22nd, 1955. And I guess I will put a picture up of him, his official goofy-looking Wikipedia page. He was born in Chikodi, Mysore state, present-day Karnataka, India. That's who's telling you what to do. That's who's calling for the president's impeachment. That's right, Miss Brenda Sue. 70 years old. Yeah, he looks like he's the ages people were putting up, anywhere from 37 to 50. I wouldn't have guessed 50. So what in the world is going on here? You know, can you trust any of this stuff? He came to this country in 1988, they say. He was a Democratic Socialist of America, which he renounced very recently, 2023. So what was he doing from 88 to 2023? Was he a commie or socialist, or what the hell was he? That's 35 years. And then for 24 months, no, I'm just a regular Democrat. Please buy the new version of Microsoft Windows. My name is Kenny. I want to sell you some Microsoft. His education is he went to the Karnataka University where he got a bachelor's in science. Then he went to the University of Mumbai and got a master's degree. Then he went to Akron, Ohio, University of Akron, and got his PhD. PhD in what? Because he sounds kind of stupid, because his so-called charges are ridiculous, asinine. Is he doing it on purpose? Is he being asinine on purpose? I went ahead and got a copy of 18 U.S. Code 953, 953, also known as the Logan Act. Just in case there is a FISA warrant, just in case his communications are being monitored. Not just him, but a great many others. Like Boasberg, for instance. Or what was it? Zenas, Judge Zenas, and several others. Prohibits unauthorized private citizens from engaging in correspondence or intercourse with foreign governments or their officials with the intent to influence their actions on matters relating to disputes with the United States. This law aims to prevent private citizens from undermining the U.S. government's diplomatic efforts. Well, it'd be something more severe then if you were cooperating with a foreign element, or in the plural, elements, to try to disrupt the political process and impeach your president with specious allegations. That would be a whole nother ball of wax, wouldn't it? Articles of derangement. So, let's see what, whatever his name is. I can't even remember his last name once it goes off the screen. Sri Thandahar. That's his name. There's a good little video called that the creator's name is T-Sply. I watch him sometimes. Young guy. He does a good job. Yeah, a lot of people, hi Colette, a lot of people were talking about his hair. It looks like a dead rat on top of his head. Hair cells, I can't believe it. Well, yeah, I thought, well, that's an old Wikipedia picture. But then I watched a video of him talking, and I said, what the hell? So anyway, he said, today I introduce a resolution to impeach Donald J. Trump, outlining 7 articles of impeachment. That was his introduction. So let's see. This is Congressman, whatever his name is. Donald Trump has already done real damage to our democracy, but defying a unanimous 9-0 Supreme Court ruling that has to be the final straw. It's time we impeach Donald J. Trump. The court said the wrongfully deported Kilmer Garcia must be allowed to That's a misrepresentation or an idiot's version of the court's ruling. Although I will say that, did you all hear what I wrote, what I read? Did you all just hear what I read? Yeah, Jerry heard. Anyway, somebody, Todd said no sound. Anyway, even though Sonia Sotomayor wrote what I feel is a purposefully scrambled up and foggy ruling, the basics of the ruling are clear. They said that the judge could not order Donald Trump to bring him back. They said that the court could request that he facilitate the return and let her know to the extent that they can what kind of progress has been made. To get his release, it's very clear. It does not say return. Facilitate his release to the extent that they can. Well, that is the president's prerogative, whatever he or she in the future, who knows, to the extent that they can is something they can decide, discretionary. The president says, well, here's what I can do. Here's what I can say. Very clear. The Trump administration followed the order. The one who didn't was Zinnis. Zinnis was told to give the legal definition, not what do you call it? Jerry, oh gosh, can't think of the name. The layman's definition of facilitate is different. It's different. It's a term of art, legal art. And she didn't give that description for days and days and kept demanding and demanding. So this character is off base. Yeah, I think we're winning too, Justin. So he goes on with his dopey saying it was a deliberate pattern. That's why today I introduced a resolution to impeach Donald J. Trump, outlining 7 articles of impeachment. Oh, God, 7 of them? Yeah. Well, the first one he's claiming is they are ignoring the courts. That's a damn lie, a stupid position to take. But anyway, Article 1. Obstruction of justice and abuse of executive power for denying due process. To unlawful deportations. Trump defied court orders. That's wrong. Garcia got due process. He had a hearing. He had two judges tell him, you've heard Tom Homan explain it all. So it's a hoax that's being repeated because there was a claim of an error which proved to be false. Doesn't mean he didn't get due process. He got due process. He got plenty of it. Costs plenty of damn time and money. Article 2, taking away Congress's power of the purse. Trump dismantled agencies and froze funds without permission from Congress. Okay, you nitwit. Reading the Constitution about the president's power to impoundment. Okay, you dimwit. When there's fraud, waste, and abuse, he can impound the money. Oh, did you hear about the congressman who announced today that he's not running for re-election? He's a Democrat on the Oversight Committee. He unfortunately has cancer. I've said before, I don't wish that on anybody. He's got cancer of the esophagus. But he's on the Appropriations Committee, the head of the approach, how embarrassing it would be to a normal person to find billions and billions and billions of dollars of waste, fraud, abuse. And you're sitting there on the Appropriations Committee like a moron and supposedly don't know anything about it. But I'm sorry he had cancer. So no, he didn't take away the power of the purse. It's either he's putting these out to provoke and engage conversation, such as what we're having right now. Maybe he's doing a little bit of gray hat work. I don't know. Or I'm more inclined to think that he's a hyperbolic, histrionic, liberal nitwit repeating media talking points. Okay. Article 3, abuse of trade and froze funds without permission from Congress. The abuse of trade, there's nothing like, that's a non offense, doesn't exist. The president can set tariffs as part of foreign policy, which is under his singular purview, except to have treaties be ratified by Congress. He can deal with foreign policy how he sees fit. That's what he's elected to do. If Congress don't like it, I guess they can impeach him for high crimes and misdemeanors, but this isn't a crime. It's a non-offense. So he says, abuse of trade powers and international aggression. He imposed damaging tariffs and threatened military invasions of our allies. Article 4. All right, he didn't threaten to invade. He said we would use the military to protect our national interests if we had to. Any president's going to say that. He's told Greenland, the people of Greenland, if you want to be part of the U.S., we'll respect your decision. He tells the people of Canada every day, you really ought to think about becoming a state, because we're not going to keep sending $200 billion a year. That's not threatening to invade. That's a bunch of hyperbolic nonsense. Article 4, violation of First Amendment rights. He has retaliated against journalists, attorneys, and critics for exercising their right to free speech. What, the AP saying they have a right to ignore a presidential proclamation? What else is he talking about? Does he have any thought in his head about what happened to Catherine Herridge, where the executive of CBS raided her office, confiscated her private correspondence, fired her without notice, where a judge fined her daily for not giving up her sources? Is he talking about when Adam Schiff wiretapped, the old term wiretapped, Devin Nunes's phone and other members of Congress and journalists that were talking to Jim Jordan and Devin Nunes, among others? Journalists? No, he doesn't bring that up. That's right, Todd. Slander isn't free speech. Neither is misinformation or disinformation, like this idiot is putting in writing. Maybe he's got dementia. Article 5, creation of an unlawful office establishing the so-called Department of Government Efficiency, DOGE, and giving Elon Musk unconstitutional power over our government and personal data. Well, with all due respect, you nitwit, DOGE was already created by Obama under the Obama administration. The only thing they did was change the name, which they're allowed to do. A rose by any other name would smell as sweet. So they didn't create an unauthorized. That's another hoax. That's totally false. The bones were already there. The structure was already there. The agency already existed. And he didn't have access to data unauthorized. Authorized by who? The 86,000 brand new IRS agents with purple hair and skinny jeans that could go into everybody's bank accounts and look around? Any different than that? Article 6. Here we go. Bribery and corruption. He has dismissed criminal cases and solicited payments from foreign governments and courts, legal settlements for personal and political gain. That's a bold talk. Bold talk. Bribery. Of course, you know what's going to happen with this thing. It's going to get thrown in the damn trash pail. But what it is, it's giving talking points. And it's also cementing in the smooth-brained nitwits that are going out there protesting hoaxes as reality. But I wonder if he could be sued. He's saying Trump took bribes from foreign governments. That's a pretty spectacular accusation. You're not on the floor of the House. Can you get away with that? Accusing Elon Musk of stealing data, accusing Trump of bribes. Finally, Article 7, tyrannical overreach. Finally, and most importantly, he is attempting to consolidate unchecked power and erode the Constitution. Where did he leave off on that? He's trying to erode the Constitution, constitutional limits of the presidency in this country. We have presidents, not kings. That's not just misconduct, it's impeachable misconduct. This isn't leadership, it's tyranny. If we let this stand, we are saying the president is above the law, that the United States Constitution is optional. I won't be silent. I'm calling on all my colleagues, Democrats and Republicans and independents, to stand up with me. So that's his public babble. 7 articles of idiocy, emotional nonsense, misdirection, and hoaxes that have all been disproven. Ha ha ha. That's funny, Bill. Who's giving him these dopey talking points? That's what I want to know. That's what I'm saying. These people like Boasberg and this clown who's been operating in the shadows. Well, they're certainly putting that garbage out. But do they put out what Tom Homan said? He's the border czar. He is a government official with authority and a degree of power. He's putting out a notice, effective today. Well, we at least got a little time of today, according to Washington time, Washington, D.C. Excuse me. I got something blocking my screen for the chats, but I can still read them, but it's a pain in the butt. Tom Homan, he was on last night and smacking them down right and left. Very politely, very firm, very clear, very concise about how stupid they are. No offense, press, but you're stupid. Hope you get over it. I got to have a sip of my coffee. Oh, once again, I appreciate Wayne and Angela and Gary for going to buy me a coffee this week. I do appreciate it. I got a link in the description if anybody wants to help out. And I hope you all remember to give me a thumbs up for crying out loud. Tom Homan said, I'm going to read it. I don't want misinterpretation while I'm reading the registration requirements under 8 USC 1302. Okay? If you're an illegal alien in the United States, this message is for you. You cannot hide from ICE, who are actively looking for you. Federal law requires every alien in the United States who has been present in the United States more than 30 days. You need to register. For those who are 14 years or older, you need to be fingerprinted with Department of Homeland Security. He's letting them all, no, this is being enforced starting today. Let's see. Federal law requires every alien in the United States to tell Department of Homeland Security in writing if you have a change of address within 10 days of changing that address. Failing to register with DHS and failing to tell DHS about your new address are criminal offenses, and they'll be treated as such. Do you hear anybody in the news talking about this? Don't you think it's important for the public to know? Don't you think it's important for the millions of illegals to know? Let's see. Starting today, make no mistake, if you're in the country illegally and you fail to do what the law requires, we will prosecute you. You will go to jail, then we'll deport you. Second, law penalties for failure to depart 8 USC 1253. If you're an alien in the United States who has a final order, this message is for you. If you have a final order, the Trump administration is committed to enforcing our immigration laws, especially for those aliens who have received final orders of deportation. There are currently around 1.4 million illegal aliens. And there's going to be millions more getting final orders. These are ones that have been languishing. Goes on to say, let me see. Let's see. You will go to jail, then we'll deport you. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, we will aggressively prosecute consistent with long-standing law those aliens for failing or refusing. Let's see. To depart or who take other related actions aimed at hindering their removal. If you fail leave or take actions to hinder removal, you'll be prosecuted. You cannot open the door. You cannot answer questions. You cannot open your car door. You consider it to evade law enforcement if you fail to leave the United States after receiving a removal order. We can and will issue monetary fines up to $9.98 a day. What he was saying is people related actions aimed at hindering removal. You know how fast Tom Homan speaks? He left out the part by saying, if you advise them, don't open the door. If you advise them, don't roll down your window, don't answer questions. They consider that hindering law enforcement by giving people who have had an order to leave, giving them advice to resist enforcement. They'll be charged. I wish he'd been a little clearer on that, but everybody gets the gist of this. If you fail to leave the United States after receiving a removal order, we will issue monetary fines up to $998 a day. Evading your arrest, knowing you have a final order of removal, is a criminal offense. We will prosecute, then we'll deport you. Get your affairs in order. If you are in the country illegally, work with ICE, go to CP1 home mobile app, and leave on your own. Because if we have to find and deport you, and we will prosecute you. You'll have a bar placed under you, and you won't come back to this country. You won't be able to come back on a visitor's visa, a tourist visa. Petition for you. You can't ask to come back for any reason. Tourist visa, work visa, nothing. You can't apply for citizenship if you're forcibly removed, if you don't register on the CBP app or go to the proper authorities to register or get deported. That's what the law requires, and we're going to enforce that law. And then she steps in and says, thank you, Tom. He's already leaving. He's got a lot of people to deport. He just turned around and walked out, didn't take any more questions after that. So he talks fast, but gets the point across. I hope they put it out in a printed, formal, and just to stick a thumb in their eye, post it out there in Spanish. Put it as an editorial in the New York Times. Front page. No sound. I should get some 5x5s. Well, anyway, folks, I hope I have sound. Let me play with this mic. Oh, it says 5 by 5 now. Whoops. All right. Well, I don't know what got cut out. Where Tom Homan said if you don't register, you can't come back for nothing. Nothing. And your kids can't petition for you to come back. They were babbling about this 2-year-old. The mother has dominion over her own child. She had due process. And it was determined she had to leave the country. Just because she had a kid in this country does not give her special rights. It does not. There's no law that says she can stay. She is an illegal alien. So she has a final order of deportation. It's her election. If she has a spouse who is here lawfully, if she has a grandmother who is willing, or a mother who is willing and able to help, she can say, I want my child to stay. But if she wants to take her child with her, they want us separating families? No. We're going to let the mother keep her child. That's the kind of arguments these idiots like to get into. Midas Trash Network. They have a live stream tonight, or had one, that says Trump disgraces the U.S. at Pope Francis's funeral. This was 2 hours ago. Already proven to be a damn lie about the color of his suit. They go full bore with these lies. Trump invents fake convos with Xi. Saying Trump said he talked with Xi, and they're saying he didn't. How the hell do they know? Hints at taking over Canada again. No, he didn't. He's just telling the Canadian people they'd be better off. His DOJ goes full authoritarian. What, enforcing the law against the Krispy Kreme judge that wants to give the middle finger to the American people by letting illegal aliens stay in their country, mooching off our system? And his approval collapses. So they're driving home like a freight train. These false narratives and outright lies. They actually doctored pictures about those blue suits to make it look like Trump was the only one. And they got caught. Trump's approval rating about the immigration is 56%. So they're lying. Did you know they had a lot of power outages all around Europe? Have you all heard that? They had the election site crash in Canada. Right when the results are coming to a head, the official election site for the government crashed. Then in a lot of European countries, blackouts all over Europe. Spain was one of them. They had an electric train sitting on a rail full of passengers, deader than 4 o'clock, as they used to say. Somebody put this up, Citizen Free Press. Spain hits first weekday of 100% renewable power on national grid. Talking about electricity. Celebrating their first day. We're all electric here in Spain. Yay! That was 6 days ago. What's the news now? 6 days after celebrating 100% renewable power, Spain blames rare atmospheric phenomenon for nation's largest blackout in history. Can you say overloading the grid? What do they expect? No backup. Here's this idiot that argued with me on when Trump put a post up. Trump put a post up showing the people being escorted out of the nightclub. Excuse me while I was sipping my coffee. Boy, that's good. And I said, that's due process. Overdue. And this guy put in there, what due process? So I answered him back on True Social. I said, step 1 is apprehension. Step 2 is a hearing. Step 3 is deport. What do you expect? O.J. Simpson style trials? Unlawful presence easily discerned and remedied. That is the law. The toilet paper auto bend permission slips to infiltrate does not count. The opinions of miscreants, malcontents, misfits, and other subversives do not matter. Wake up and grow up. They only get so much due process. The due process has to be commiserate with the parameters of the case. If you get in trouble for something serious like bank robbery or ending someone's life, you end up with these long drawn out trial with all, it's can be complicated. But the question is just, are you here legally or not? It's like when you go to court, you got a tenant had paid rent. You want them out. The judge said, did you pay your rent? Well, no, I lost my job, and grandma said she was going to send me my goodbye. You got to move. It doesn't matter what your reasons are. You did not pay. Everybody loses a job. You should have called grandma earlier. You're 2 months behind. Goodbye. That's it. That's your due process. That quick when they call your name. So now this guy answers me back. He says, sure, have a hearing. That's called due process. But Trump doesn't want to follow the Constitution. If they're guilty, deport them. If not, then piss off. Where's he? What world is he living in? Trump doesn't follow the Constitution. Here we've been spending weeks on top of weeks dealing with these judges. We can't even pronounce their damn names. They don't know the law. They don't know their rear ends from third base. And the Supreme Court is siding with Trump, right and left, but they twist the words, make it sound like Trump lost. I just answered him back and I said, you're prattling. They can waive a hearing or have a hearing. Trump follows the Constitution. He spelled it fallow. So I said, in quotes, he follows the Constitution every time. Stop the political bedwetting and listening to goobers. They're listening to goobers who's twisting their brains. And then they want to argue on social media when they're stupid. Yeah, I saw who put it in the chats about this 60 Minutes president resigning. I got a clip from 60 Minutes where they're saying what a wonderful person he was and how he guided the ship for 30 years, maybe even 40 years. I don't know. He sure doesn't look like that guy from India, but that's a sign. He was told to get the hell out. The CBS, he is the one responsible for 60 Minutes where they conducted election interference, where they altered those videos, altered those tapes, where they excluded some of Trump's comments, explaining to the American people what was going on. They even mentioned what we talked about the other night, was the merger that the parent company, Paramount, is trying to get approved by the SEC. And they can't have these kind of turds in the punch bowl. Well, Trump put out a big condemnation of these damn polls. Diane, you mentioned it. Yeah, that's right. Of this fake poll that came out just before this twit put up these articles of derangement. Trump said, great pollster John McLaughlin, one of the most highly respected in the industry, has just stated that the failing New York Times poll and the ABC Washington Post poll about a person named Donald Trump, me, are fake polls from fake news organizations. Remember what Trump was saying. Push polls are illegal. The New York Times has only 37% of Trump 2024 voters, and the ABC Washington Post poll has only 34% of Trump voters. Unheard of numbers unless you're looking for a negative result, which they are. These people should be investigated for, capital letters, election fraud. And add in the Fox News pollster while you're at it. Because what they're trying to influence is the midterm elections. They're starting this early. They are negative criminals who apologize to their subscribers and readers after I win elections big, much bigger than their polls showed. I would win, lose a lot of credibility, and then go on cheating and lying for the next cycle. Only worse. They suffer from Trump derangement syndrome, and there's nothing that anyone or anything could do about it. Yeah, kind of like what he said with the Democrats. I could move heaven and earth. You still complain. Then he puts in capital letters. They are sick. Almost only write negative stories about me, no matter how well I'm doing. 99.9% at the border, best number ever, and are truly the enemy of the people. I wish them well, but will continue to fight to make America great again. Yeah, it's hard to wish somebody well that's constantly playing these damn mind games with the American people. What's the answer? What's to make it stop? Well, one thing he's going to do, remember we were talking, oh, wow, this is going to be the last rally. This is, the end of an era. He's going to have another rally, apparently. Dan Scavino put it up. Before I tell you about this fake news, just remember, most Americans don't know that the only rally CNN ever covered was the one where Trump had the assassination attempt. And remember that to this day, there are millions of people that think Kyle Rittenhouse shot 3 black men in the back for doing nothing wrong. Kyle Rittenhouse. Chalk that all up to this damn lying fake news media. Dan Scavino put out, celebrate Trump's historic first 100 days in office, April 29th, tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern. Warren, Michigan. Wow. He's going to Michigan. In that, celebrate President Trump's historic first 100 days in office. Isn't that where this character is from that put this phony articles of impeachment up? Yeah, I believe it is. He's going right in his own backyard. You little twerp. You commie. Did you see where Trump put posters up of illegal aliens around the White House? MSNBC was so mad. Here's what they said. The White House has put up about 100 posters of unauthorized immigrants who have been arrested for violent crimes. Not unauthorized immigrants, illegal aliens, illegal criminal aliens. What's particularly noteworthy about this location is it's right directly behind the positions where TV correspondents do their hits from the White House lawn. Oh, you call them hits? H-I-T-S, hits? If you're doing a hit from the White House right now, those pictures will be behind you. Well, then they ended up blurring them out. This guy, Charlemagne, I talked about him a little bit earlier. I didn't get to the point. I don't say his whole claimed name because he's a blasphemous pinhead, but maybe he's coming around. He said on his radio show today, I didn't know the woman, the mother of that 2-year-old, was here illegally. Nobody ever told me that. Everybody saying, oh, Trump administration kidnapped a 2-year-old child. So at least he's being honest and putting the word out there. I'll tell you something else that Homan said during that press briefing. That's nobody's hearing. But the more he gets up there, the more they're going to hear it. He said, do you know why the Biden administration released millions of people? When you put them in ice beds, they get a hearing in 35 days. When you release them, it's 5 to 9 years. By then, Democrats are back in power and can award mass amnesty. Mass amnesty. Get you some coffee and pie, Bill. Let's have another cup of coffee and let's have another piece of pie. This is Jerry Connolly, is not seeking re-election due to returning cancer. He's a ranking member of this oversight committee. Wasn't doing a very good job. So I got a clip. A lot of people are digging these clips up. The nobody is above the law chorus and all this stuff. And there's a clip of Hillary saying if they committed crimes, deport them. No questions asked. So I just read about that guy from the impeachment garbage from Wikipedia, and a lot of people have been curious about how they change stuff before people can really find out about somebody in the news. They change it. So Jack Posobiec put up that U.S. Attorney for D.C. investigates not-for-profit Wikipedia over foreign influence. Wikipedia is, quote, engaging in a series of activities that could violate its obligations under Section 501c3 of Title 26 of the United States Code. Well, they can be in trouble for more than that if they're being influenced or paid by a foreign entity, Wikipedia. So anyway, folks, who do you think's going to get it next? I think they're going to leave Tish James out there to fry on spit a little bit longer. I'm thinking we got showdowns coming with Judge Zinnes, Judge Boasberg, and some other female judge. I forget her name. I forget her name. But anyway, they're all acting like they can hold contempt hearings and attack the presidency and throw administration officials in jail or hold them in contempt. I believe that's the next showdown. I don't know. We shall see. Maybe we'll get a few more district court judges ending up in jail, but I don't think we will get lower court judges, because that one getting led away in handcuffs, not the one who had the AR-15s, AK-47s, that is out of this world. Nobody could argue with that. But their argument was that she was queen of her courtroom, queen of the hallways, queen of the men's room, anywhere illegal goes, you can't touch them. She got mugshot, handcuffs, jail. That's going to put a stop to these lower courts. Now these federal courts have been put on notice. But what have they done prior to this arrest? They can't go back in time. Did they take actions, illegal actions, to impede the president during a national emergency and during a presidential proclamation of a predatory incursion, aiding and abetting? Have they done something they can't undo? We shall see. So anyway, folks, what I always say, I say thank you for spending your precious time with me. I really appreciate it. And if something big happens tomorrow, I'll go live. Yeah, Shifty Schiff. Yeah, he's hot on the radar. You know, if they keep hitting different targets in different areas and keep them dancing, man, they might go off the judiciary and whop somebody upside the head in Congress, just keep them on their toes. Oh, Andrew Cuomo, yeah. He had a crazy lady yell and scream at him. I watched the video. I can't play it on my channel. She had filthy mouth. She was yelling at him and talking about him being a SA abuser, you know, S3 actual abuser. So anyway, it was kind of funny. His security kept her well away, but she was foul mouthed. But anyway, folks, something big happens, I'll go live tomorrow night. If you're subscribed and hit the notification bell, you'll know when I go live. I want to thank everybody for giving me a thumbs up And if you didn't like what I'm doing, give me a thumbs down. Let me know something. And I appreciate the comments. Oh, I meant to read one of the comments. Maybe I'll do it. It'll hold. I do read your all's comments, okay? And I had somebody I've never interacted with before that left a comment concerning due process. Seemed to be a nicer person than this dumpster fire character from True Social. So anyway, folks, you all have a great night. Thank you for spending your precious time with me. I'll be seeing you soon. This is Mountain Man, over and out.